it's up for grabs now! Thomas! Right at the end!
And it's Tony Adams put through by Steve Ball. Would you believe it? Welter! Patrick Vieira is in for Arsenal and sweeps it home. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. He stripped it away from Parr. Henry!
And it's Arsenal! Arsenal! Let's see! Here's my phone! Let's see!
It's time to go!
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Claude and the Banstas morning Banstas show. Yeah, and guess who we got today? We got a special guest later as well, but our normal, well, he is special as well. Our normal guest on a Wednesday morning is Daniel. How are you, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Claude. I'm not too bad, mate. How you doing?
Good man, good man. And of course, back again. It's the kind Gooner himself. Zach, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Claude. I'm all right, mate. And hope you're well. Hope Daniel's well as well. And as I said earlier, I thought I would join you guys. Two very, very knowledgeable Arsenal fans. And tell you what, lads, yeah, there's not many Arsenal fans that I want to talk to right now. But you two are an exception to that. So it's a pleasure to join you guys today.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much, and appreciate that. And yeah, listen, I'm gonna start with you, Daniel. Let's go over, because I haven't spoken to you both at all about the Sunday game. A lot of people I thought were saying that we've improved a lot. It showed because we only lost 1-0. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. I thought they were playing in first gear. In the second half, it looked like the instructions from Guardiola was take it easy on my old mate, just keep the ball and just don't do anything even more than score the one goal that you listen. They could have been 3 up at half time, and in the second half, I think they slowed down. We didn't make any sort of effort. I'm going to go back when people say, "Oh, well, it's Matt. What do you expect? It's Manchester City. Did you expect us to win?" No, but I remember when we played a side which was far superior to Manchester. No, not far, but superior to Manchester City in Barcelona, and it was Xavi, Iniesta, and Messi and co. Did we go out on that night, that famous night, and beat them 2-1? Did we go out there with that attitude to keep the score down? No, we didn't. We went out and gave it a go. And that's what really hurts me about Sunday's performance. I would like to get your view on this, Daniel.
First thing I want to say is that Man City, let's be honest, they weren't really that great on Sunday. I personally didn't think. And, for their standards, they weren't that great. But yet they still dominated us, which kind of says a lot. The other thing is as well, like when people say, "Oh, we've improved," it's all well and good having a good defensive record, and is it really that great when you look on it? Is it really that great? Yeah, we lost 1-0. By our standards, we're used to getting an absolute mauling. But for me, the issue is not whether we could have won the game. Like I didn't go into that game thinking we could win it, but the one thing that I do expect to see from Arsenal is 100%. It doesn't matter, most Arsenal fans will agree that we don't want to see. It'd be unrealistic to turn around and say we're going to go and win every game. That's not realistic. But what we want to see is 100% from the team, and we didn't even see. I don't even think we saw even 10% from the team. That Arteta, when you look at the lineup, I didn't have a problem with the lineup. The only issue I had is that he kind of seemed to put Saka on the left and Pepe on the right, which absolutely makes no sense. Pepe, his best performances have come on the left. Now him playing Pepe on the right makes no sense for two reasons. A, he's not really had a good season on that side. And also with that useless waste of space behind him who doesn't support him or do absolutely anything, it just absolutely made no sense. So that, for me, it kind of reminded me of the first game against Man City back in October when he played Willian as a false nine. He didn't need to do that. And it kind of made no sense to do it then. And it kind of made no sense this time with Bukayo Saka and Pepe. But other than that, Claude, we didn't see nothing from the team. Didn't see no fight, no passion. And I'm fed up, right? I'm absolutely fed up of people. All they can give the excuse is, oh, it's the players, it's the players, it's the players. It's not Arteta, it's the players. Two things. It's the players. Arteta picks them. Arteta picks those players. So, that's not going to wash for too much longer, if it's washing with anybody at all, because for me, Arteta's got better options out there that he could pick. So when people say, oh, it's the players not playing well, it's the players who are letting Arteta down. Listen, he's the one consistently putting him in the starting 11. Yeah. So the buck again stops with him. And secondly, when people say to me as well, oh, the players need, the player, he's only got those players to pick. He hasn't. He's got Martinelli. He's got Bellerin that could come in. Those guys. Because I'll tell you something now, and I was thinking over this morning, right, before we come on air, and if Arsene Wenger was still in charge, and you guys know that I'm not a massive, fan of Arsene Wenger. Towards the end, he kind of massively screwed the club up in more ways than, listen, we're still repairing the damage now. But he would have given Martinelli and Bellerin a chance, and that's how bad Arteta is. When you put it in context like that, that's how bad he is as a coach, and people need to realize that what's going on here, and he can't be immune from criticism. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, you summed it quite up well. I think maybe Zach may have the same sort of venom as you. And what about you, Zach?
Yeah, look, I echo pretty much everything that Daniel said there. I mean, it's inexplicable. When I saw the lineup, I kind of thought to myself, catering too much for Man City, El Neni and Xhaka. And then when Pepe was starting on the right and then Saka on the left, when Saka's been playing out of his skin on the right and Pepe's best form was on the left, I couldn't believe it. And then I put a tweet out and everyone was saying, oh, because Saka defends better, that's why. Well, we're Arsenal Football Club. We play to our strengths, yeah? You don't suddenly change. That basically nullified our wing play because Saka's been brilliant on the right. Pepe was brilliant on the left. You've just ruined your wingers because I think Saka might be marginally better than Pepe going the other way. It made no sense to me. The other 2 points I would make is that this mentality, of, oh, it was only one, therefore we should accept it or be happy, somehow be happy. It's a load of bollocks. And anyone who has that opinion, I have no time for when it comes to football. I won't debate with anyone who says, oh, we only lost 1-0, not too bad, let's move on. No, we're Arsenal Football Club. With a good manager, a proper manager, we could have won that game easily, They started the game with no strikers. They started the game with Kevin De Bruyne, half-fit Kevin De Bruyne, And by the way, Raheem Sterling, 5'6", fucking heading in, You've just given Holding a new contract. That's your centre back that you're putting faith in, and you got Raheem Sterling climbing, getting in between you and climbing and getting a header in, free header. Not for me, mate. Yeah, Holding shouldn't even be at this club. The other point I would make is a wider point. It's about the mentality that Arteta is now seeping into the players and the fans, which is excuse mentality. Yeah, we're not winning because of X, Y, and Z, or it's nothing to do with the players. Yeah, I've seen it. Arteta's come out many, many times and started blaming referees, blaming other things, and the fan base are lapping it up. The players are lapping it up. Bellerin is his captain. Yeah, take Aubameyang out of the picture. When Aubameyang was injured, or he was away for personal reasons, Hector Bellerin was Arteta's captain. Let that sink in, yeah? Think about the excuses that Bellerin comes up with, yeah? Oh, Sanchez wanted to win too much and all this. This is what I'm seeing from Arteta now. And do you know what it is? It's self-preservation. Arteta doesn't want to lose his job, so he's making excuses for his utter incompetency. And I tell you what, when I was watching the City game, I was just like, it was the breaking point for me where I've just lost interest in it now. Like, I'm almost apathetic. Like, I'm not going to rant about Arteta every game. I'm not going to rant every day. It is what it is. And until we get rid of Arteta, we're not going to move forward. In fact, we are doing so much damage right now to Arsenal Football Club that a lot of Arsenal fans, the positive merchants, they don't realise how much damage is going on right now. Yeah? I'll tell you this, lads. I'll tell you this for last point, Claude. I'll tell you this. Martinelli ain't going to sit around being treated like that for much longer, right? Neither is Pepe. If Saka ain't going to... If you're Bukayo Saka, right, and where do we finish this season? 11th, 12th, probably? Yeah, we're not going to be in Europe, probably. We ain't going to win the Europa League. If you're Bukayo Saka, let's say, I'm just going to put a hypothetical out there. Barcelona come knocking, yeah? Or Real Madrid come knocking. Or Man City or Liverpool come knocking, yeah? Double your wages, come and play and compete for the Champions League. Tell me this, lads, yeah? How many seasons do you think that Saka will be able to say no to that? I'd probably say one. I think we've got enough grace for him to say, do you know what? No. One season. But he ain't going to keep doing that. And this is how much damage Arteta's doing, because we're going to lose our best players. Yeah, Martinelli will go. Saka will go. The winners. They will leave this football club. And what we're going to be left with? Hector Bellerin, Holding and Willian. Brilliant. So there's a wider point there than just the City game. The mentality now that I'm seeing. Excuses.
Do you know what's really worrying for me is that and this is really worrying, not only from the players but from the fan base as well, that we accept this. Like we accept, well, a certain section of fan base accept this as if it's become the normal. Like you know, I remember when, you know, we had a better squad and we would go into every single game, whether we could win, lose or draw, we'd go in to that game without fear. Now we're going into games, and this is the fan base as well. We're going into games going, oh my God, we're going to get an absolute mauling. And it showed on Sunday, the fear that's there. And that was never ever an issue. When you look at, you know, when you look as far back as the Invincible team and maybe even further back than that, the fear factor was never an issue. And teams come into the Emirates Stadium or Highbury as it was back then would always come going, we're in for a difficult afternoon today, lads. Do you know what I mean? Arsenal's going to give us a game. Now teams come to us and go, oh, look at this jelly midfield. Look at this jelly defense. We're going to have an absolute going to have an absolute ball today. And that's what's really worrying.
Daniel, sorry to interrupt you, but you know what it is, right? I put a tweet out the other day, a bit of a tongue-in-cheek tweet, but it kind of echoes what you're saying about the jelly defense and jelly midfield. I said, if you were walked down a blind, like a dark alley, yeah, in the middle of the night, and you were on your own, and you met any of the Arsenal players down there, you didn't know who they were Arsenal players, would you be scared of any of them? I wouldn't be scared of one of them. Yeah. Now cast your mind back, players that we used to have, the Martin Keowns. You met him, the Vieiras. Yeah. We get bullied. I don't know who said it. Someone said that Aubameyang, was it Carragher or was it Redknapp? No, I think it was Jamie Redknapp. What did he say? He said Aubameyang got bullied against Man City, yeah? Because he's weak. We haven't got any strong players or fierce or aggressive players. Hector Bellerin, as our right back, you could snap. Look, I don't want to be disrespectful, but when you're a professional footballer, do you remember Jack Grealish just destroying Bellerin, yeah?
Yeah.
Grealish's leg is the size of Bellerin's body. One leg of Jack Grealish is the size of Hector Bellerin's body. Now, it's not all about physicality in this league. You can get the odd player who's nimble and agile and skillful, smaller. But we've got a team that are so weak physically and so weak mentally that no one's scared of us anymore, as you say, Dan.
Yeah.
No one comes to the end of it.
Do you know the only player on Sunday who could probably hold his head up high and say that he was trying, and he's done that for maybe a majority of the season, even when he has underperformed, is Bukayo Saka. He's the only player that you could probably look at and go, okay, well, do you know what? At least you're trying. At least you're trying, your best. But
even he had a poor game.
One player can't carry the whole team.
Guys, did you think it was weird that Martinelli didn't get any minutes? Like, I thought that game was perfect for Martinelli to start because his energy, yeah? That's what we needed. When he came on the other night against Benfica and he was running, he was only on for 10, 15 minutes. He was running, he was closing down. That's what we needed against City. I was shocked that he didn't start that game, and he didn't even bring him on. He brought
Zach? Do you know, Zach, I said this right on my channel the other day. I said that when people say to me, oh, well, Arteta's got no other options to bring on the bench. And I said, well, Martinelli. And then all people can come back with is, oh, well, he's not going to win us the game. And I keep making this point that people keep missing the point. It's not about coming on and winning the game. Martinelli might not come on. He might come on and never, he might not win us the game. But what Martinelli will guarantee you is 100%. He will give 100%. He will come on and he will run his absolute arse off. And that's all we expect. We don't expect these players to come on and turn the game around and win it. We're not going to win every single game. But what we want to see as fans is players give 100%. That's all we ever ask. So it's not about coming on and changing the game in terms of results-wise or even, in terms of, getting a point. But if they come on, these players come on and give 100%, all we can turn around and go is, do you know what? Fair play. We might have lost the game, but the players that were out there on the field have given 100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And well, this is going to go on and on and on, isn't it? By the way, breaking news for Liverpool fans, by the way, on here. Jordan Henderson is out for 12 weeks. Oh, they really had it bad this year. And I know a lot of people have criticised Liverpool this year, and Klopp and everything, but gee, the injuries they've had this season is horrendous. 12 weeks, he's out for Jordan Henderson. I'm going to ask you the boys about this thing this morning I saw on the thing. Hector, would you do it? Would you take this swap? I'm going to ask you both individually. Hector Bellerin has been, Arteta wants Julian Draxler in an exchange for Hector Bellerin. What do you boys think of that? Start with you, Daniel. What do you think of that, mate?
I I'm open to getting rid of Hector Bellerin. I'd even, I wouldn't even care less if we got a player in return for him. It's just about getting him out the door. He offers nothing defensively. He offers nothing going forward. I don't understand why he gets into the starting lineup week in, week out. In terms of getting Julian Draxler, not for me. I think that boat sailed. Why are we going to get rid of one shit player to bring in another potentially shit player? It's just not for me. I'm not a big fan of Julian Draxler. Maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, when we,
a lot of injury problems. Yeah. He's got a lot of injury problems as well, and and that would be typical of us getting another one.
Well, it'd fit right in at us, our club, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People talk about COVID-19 putting pressure on the NHS. I think there's more chance of Arsenal players putting pressure on the NHS the way we're going right now.
Unfortunately, I think this could be the sort of thing that we're going to be doing with the money thing happening a bit. Oh yeah, I forgot to read the super chat out from Randy earlier. Wait a minute, I think. Let me get it back. It was. I don't think. It's for you, Daniel. So I better read it out because
bloody Randy. I bet I know what he's going to say.
I've lost my bet with Dan. No Granny Norma for me. What does that mean? No Granny Norma for me.
Haven't a clue, mate. I haven't a clue.
Right. And then he's coming with another super chat. Let's have a look at this one. All right, there it goes. Thanks for the super chats, though. Ex-players and super fans brainwash fans like Terry. Yeah, well, I had it with. I mean, you go back to my watch along, and we had a bit of a real, let's say, real fight on there on the other day.
The thing is, I just don't get it. I honestly don't get. It's just any excuse for Arteta and people will use it. Do you know what I mean? And I don't see it. Why, when people hung Emery out to dry, left, right, and centre, when he was in charge. And I'm not saying that Emery was the answer. I'm not saying that maybe he was right for the club either. But everybody hung him out to dry and couldn't wait to hang him out to dry. But with Arteta, it's, we have to make allowances. We have to make excuses. We have to make... Why? And nobody can ever tell me this. Nobody can come back and go, because, all they come back with is, because he's learning. He's inexperienced. He's this, he's that. Why should that make a difference? Lampard had more experience at Chelsea because he'd worked at Derby. And even then, Chelsea still was like, do you know what? It's not working out. So what makes Arteta so different?
Yeah, Daniel, I've been hearing a lot recently, the last month or two, about some of the excuses the Arteta merchants come out with, and one of them is, Emery lost the dressing room, but Arteta hasn't just lost the dressing room. Well, hang on a second. Arteta has how many games has Arteta lost this season in the league? 11. That, to me, tells me you've lost the dressing room. Putting in a performance like that against City when no one was trying tells me you've lost the dressing room. Yeah, sure, Emery got battered a few times, but all on the flip side, Emery actually got a tune out of them at times. You think about the Fulham away game, you think about Tottenham at home where we spanked them. Yeah, so there seems to be this intangible, and I've heard it a lot. I'm not going to name any names because there's a few people I can think of. But Emery lost the dressing room. Therefore, he had to leave. Show me the evidence. Yeah, Emery lost the dressing room. For me, there's more evidence to suggest that Arteta's lost the dressing room because he's had to kick half of them out because he'd lost their faith. Yeah, the likes of Guendouzi, Torreira, Socrates, Willock, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Saliba. He lost them all. He's kicked the Balogun, all of these players. So it's a bullshit excuse for me. And Helen's there in the chat saying I would say he's lost half the dressing room. He has, absolutely.
To me, it's not acceptable to lose 11 games. It's not acceptable to lose 11 games. And do you know what makes it worse, right? is that this season is so open. If we got our shit together, maybe not now because we've left it too late, but if we got our shit together right where when it mattered, right at the start of the season, we could have been up there. We could have. I can't think of an easier season where we could have had it to get top 4.
Completely agree.
The way that the season has been open, but because we pissed around and lost half of the games, because people still want to defend Arteta because they can't see past Arteta and his inexperience as a manager, because people want to sit there and go, oh, it's a process, it's this, it's that, we've got to give him time. Because let me tell you something now, when, maybe not tomorrow, but when we do get knocked out of the Europa League, because we inevitably will, because we'll come up against a better team who's tactically better and who's got a more experienced manager, when we get knocked out of the Europa League, that's when Arteta should be gone. And actually, I said it before, didn't I? A week ago, I think I put a super chat when you guys were on. You and Helen were on with Claude a week ago. That why are we waiting until the damage is done? Why aren't we being proactive and changing things now while we've still got a potential chance?
Yeah, it's a wider point though, Daniel. And I think Helen and I made it last time we were on this channel. It's about the structure from top to bottom. The board, there's no footballing people on the board, right? So where are you going to make these footballing decisions? You're not. It's all like a bunch of friends. Like Edu is friends with Arteta. So therefore Arteta's job is safe. It's a load of nonsense. And do you know what I'm hearing a lot now from the Arteta fans? It's an intangible. It's now a gut feeling that Arteta will come good, as opposed to anything tangible or factual. I'm actually, Claude, I very rarely do this, right? Very rarely do this, and I will keep it respectful, right? But I do want to call this. I do want to call this person out. There's a journalist, or he's on Twitter. His name is Harry Simeon, right? And he tweeted the other day. He said, "I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it. It's just a gut feeling, even though all the evidence suggests otherwise. It's a gut feeling that Arteta will eventually come good," right? That was his tweet. It was not based on any footballing opinion. It was just a gut feeling. That is where we are as a fan base, these Arteta fans. Then they can't look at the football anymore and justify Arteta being in his job. They're now relying on intangible, weird things like gut feelings. Like, where does that come from? Like, what is that even a footballing opinion? Like, what is that? Can somebody explain to me what that even means? A gut feeling that he'll come good when all the evidence suggests otherwise? Because I don't get it. I really don't understand it. So there, I would, as I said, I'll keep it respectful. I'm not gonna, say anything out of turn, but that is where we are. That is reflective of the fan base at the moment. Oh,
you're not allowed to have an opinion regarding Harry. Yeah. That's not allowed. You'd be called jealous, mate. You'd be called jealous. Yeah. And by the way, this is what makes me laugh about that comment from Scotty. Scotty Gooner. He said, "I'm jealous of because I made a comment." So if I make a comment about Henry Winter or anyone, as they are all journalists, Harry's a journalist as well. If I make that comment about Henry Winter, does that mean I'm jealous? I'm giving an opinion.
Yeah.
And this is where we are. I mean,
nothing to do with jealousy. It's nothing to do with jealousy.
What is it with these people? Are they really that stupid?
The thing is, Claude, we live in a...
Enough said on that, but anyway, enough said. I don't want to get too much into it because it'll wind me up.
The thing is, look, I don't want to go tit for tat with people like that because it's
apparently. Can you? I hate to do this, but I've been called at the door. So something on the door. Can you carry on without me for a minute?
Yeah. No worries. Claude.
Sorry about this.
No worries, Claude.
Go on, Daniel.
No worries.
What are you going to say, Daniel?
No, I was just going to say I don't want to go tit for tat because do you know what? I've got a lot of respect for every single Arsenal podcast review, irrespective of their opinions. Especially people that have helped me out as well. So I don't really like to
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like I don't, at the end of the day, like I've got, people have helped me out. I'm not gonna, I disagree with, with their footballing opinions and stuff. That's fine, but I don't want to get into this whole slagging people off who have helped me out. I'm not trying to, to suck ass or anything like that. I've had my fingers burnt with stuff like that, and it's
Daniel, you're a very respectful guy. Yeah, you're a very respectful guy, and that's why I said the reason why I brought that tweet up, because it seems to be reflective of a huge swathe of Arsenal fans at the moment. That an opinion on Arteta is no longer about what people see with their eyes. It's about an intangible gut feeling that something might happen in the future. So I brought it up not to necessarily dig one person out, but it was reflective of what I'm seeing a lot of fans now saying, is that I can't put my finger on it. I just believe in Arteta. So do you know what we used to call it? Blind faith, yeah? And people used to have it under Wenger. But the last 4 or 5 years under Wenger, it was this faith in something that was clearly not working. We're now seeing it again under Arteta. And it's one of the most damaging positions in football, is to have that type of faith in somebody without actually using your own intelligence, without using your own footballing opinion. It's just based on something intangible. And it's very dangerous, to be honest. But Claude's question about Hector Bellerin. I don't care. We swap him for anyone. I would swap him for a bag of pork scratchings and a bag of jelly tots. Yeah, I would. Yeah,
honestly, I would swap. Honestly, the guy's finished, absolutely finished.
He never started. He's never been a good defender.
No,
he just had pace. He had pace.
And he hasn't even got that now.
It's only Arsenal Football Club. I'm telling you now. Yeah. That you could get a right back who's probably one of the fastest players in the league, who couldn't do anything else apart from run fast, and then he loses his pace. Yeah, not because of age, he just inexplicably. And I don't buy that it was his injury. I'll tell you why I don't necessarily buy that. Theo Walcott, again, one of the fastest players in the Premier League, he's had so many injuries, similar injury to the one that Bellerin had, kept him out for 16 months, and he came back and he was even faster. So I think there's something else going on with Bellerin in terms of why he's lost his pace. Don't know what it could be, but he's not a player anymore. He never was, in my opinion. But we need to get a proper right back into the football club, Daniel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd even be happier if they just put Cedric there for the remainder of the season. He's not the answer. He's not the answer, but he's better than Bellerin. Do you know what? Like, I'd even put my nan in instead of Bellerin. She's more mobile than Bellerin, and she's like 80-odd. So
I put Callum Chambers there. I put Callum Chambers there for now, and then in the summer we go and get a proper right back. That would be my defence. Chambers right back, Gabriel, probably Pablo Mari, and then Tierney.
And do you know what? A lot of people are gonna. And a lot of people are a big fan of his as well, and say that he would be a good squad player. I'd even sell Rob Holding. I would even sell Rob Holding, because again, he's inconsistent. He'll have maybe the odd couple of good games, but then he'd drop an absolute clanger. And I just think we could do better than Rob Holding.
Yeah. What's this Randy guy saying? He's saying it's okay, Claude. Daniel's team, Man United won. He's happy.
Such a bloody joker, Randy. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, right? Yeah. So I done back in December. I'd done a couple of watch-alongs other than Arsenal, and 2 out of 3 of those were Man United games.
Oh, right.
Because I'd done the Manchester. No, because I'd done the Manchester derby, and Claude, you know this as well because you do them yourself on your channel. So Randy's picked up on that and bloody run with it, bloody joker.
Randy. But yeah,
by the way, I just want to say sorry to interrupt, boys. Big thank you to Flo Zanelli. Thank you so much for what you've just sent me. That's really kind of you. And that's why I'm on camera, because he just sent me some breakfast, which is really nice.
Who sent you breakfast, Claude?
Flo from Australia. Really nice.
Really?
And
Wow.
he sent me some breakfast. So very, very nice of you, and I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate it.
What breakfast have you got?
Mate, I've got chicken nuggets, I've got chips, I've got a load of sandwiches here. I don't even know if I can eat it all. But,
mate, for breakfast, that's my kind of breakfast.
You're making me hungry now, Claude. You're making me hungry.
Yeah. Anyway,
what about looking forward to tomorrow's game then, lads? What do we think? What do we think is going to go down tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to get onto that in a minute.
Sorry, mate. I thought you were eating, but
yeah, no, go on, carry on. Tomorrow, tomorrow's game. The big boost for Arsenal is that Thomas Partey is now back in full training. He'll have another test, but he's most very likely to play. Big boost for Arsenal. I think he's. But let's hope he doesn't come back too quickly. But I think this is our real last hope, isn't it? Really, this is the Europa League. So, but what would you make changes tomorrow for this game, Zach?
Oh, absolutely, I'd make changes. I'd change most of the team, mate. Yeah, I would. My team would be Matt Ryan in goal. Yeah, Tierney left back. Pablo Mari, Gabriel, and then Callum Chambers right back, or maybe Cedric. In midfield, I'd have Thomas Partey and Danny Ceballos. And the front four, I'd have Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, Nicholas Pepe. And up front, because I know he's not going to play Bellerin, I'd play Lacazette, and I would have Aubameyang on the bench. That would be my team, yeah. And let's go and control the football. Let's hold the ball up, get Lacazette to hold it up, and get those three in behind him: Pepe, Smith-Rowe, and Saka running riot, yeah. And then behind them, you've got Danny Ceballos, Thomas Partey, who are forward-looking midfielders, yeah. They're the only two midfielders that we've got who are forward-looking. Because if you think about Xhaka, he's a sideways merchant or a backwards merchant, same as El Neni. I don't want to see either of them in midfield tomorrow, but we will. That's my team. That would be my team. So if you think about the number of changes, that's what, 7 or 8 changes from the team that started against City. So yeah, that would be my team. And I'll tell you what, if we went with that team, we'd have a half a chance of going through quite comfortably. Matthews said Martinelli has to start. Yeah, maybe, but I would, because he hasn't had many starts, I would keep him off. He would be my first substitute on 55, 60 minutes. If we needed a goal, I'd bring him on. But that's
what about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I would have. So yeah, my lineup. The only problem, I would stick with Leno in goal, because
poor goalkeeper, Daniel. He's a poor goalkeeper.
I think because it's a massive game, I just think it would be a little bit of a gamble to play Matt Ryan. And I would listen. I'm not a fan of certain aspects of Leno's game, but the one thing that he does offer is he's a very good, shot stopper, and he's very, his distribution might be a lot to be desired in that. But I just think I would stick with Leno. The back line, I would probably start with Cedric, Gabriel, and Pablo Mari as the central pairing, with Kieran Tierney at left back. Midfield, Thomas Partey, and I think I know listen, I'm not his biggest fan, but I think because he is a little bit better with Thomas Partey there, I would go with Granit Xhaka. I would have Ceballos. I would bring Ceballos on as a substitute. I think we need some. If things aren't going right, then you could probably change it up. But Thomas Partey, you know, alongside Granit Xhaka. I'm not saying Granit Xhaka is the answer, but I just feel that they have got a little bit more of a rapport than Thomas Partey and Danny Ceballos would have. I would definitely play Smith Rowe in front of them too. I think he's just been outstanding. I'll definitely have Bukayo Saka on the right. I would have Pepe on the left because I think Pepe would, you know, I think he's done really well on the left, and he's had his best performances in an Arsenal shirt on the left. And I still feel he's got a lot more to offer. If he can nail that position down consistently, I think he would have a lot more to offer. The main man up top, I would put Lacazette because he can hold the ball. Listen, I've said for time that you know, I don't think we should sell Aubameyang, but having said that, Aubameyang should not be a starter just because he's the captain. He's got to earn his way back into the team, and Lacazette offers more. Might not offer more in terms of goal scoring, but offers more in terms of like his hold up play. So I would put Lacazette and then maybe change it for Martinelli. Because listen, we know he's not going to play Bellerin. He's obviously, that's just a non-starter because he would be my next. He would have been one of my next players that I potentially would have put in, but he isn't going to do that, is he? You know what he's going to do. You know he's going to play Bellerin, and I also don't think he should play Odegaard in this game as well. I think because it's our season depends on getting through. I think he should just go with the team that's likely to win the game. And I think if he goes with the team that maybe I've put out, I know Zach, you said about putting Ceballos in there. I think Ceballos would be good to come off the bench, maybe at half time.
Daniel, the only reason why I'm putting Ceballos in, right? This is our one shot, yeah? I don't want to see any negative backwards, sideways football. I want to see players who get on the ball and take risks, forward passes. And Ceballos does that. Whether you like him or you loathe him, he does that. He looks up and he tries to pass forward. That's what I want to see from the outset, not waiting after 60 minutes and, you know, Xhaka's passed sideways for 60 minutes and we bring him off. From the start, I want us to be at it and I want us to be passing forward, attacking, with intent. That's why I put Ceballos next to Thomas Partey.
I agree with you that, you know, seeing the forward passes and that, but I actually think that because you never know, you know, Smith Rowe's played a lot, you know, he's played a lot of games and lately sometimes you can see that he's been burnt out. I would even maybe put Ceballos in that forward role,
maybe possibly
where Smith Rowe plays, because I'd rather see him there than Odegaard. I'm not fully convinced by Odegaard at the moment. It's too early to say. And I'm not going to, I can't judge him on the Man City game because listen, the whole team was crap. And it's, you know, the game before he done okay, and I know this sounds really bad, but he is still settling in.
The thing is, Daniel, sorry to interrupt you, mate. The thing is about the Odegaard, however you pronounce his name, that signing for me was really bizarre because you just stumbled across Emil Smith Rowe in the number 10 position, right? Playing brilliantly in that little pocket, essentially, right? Then you've got other players who can also play in that area should you need to rest Emil. So Saka can play there, Pepe can play there, Martinelli, even Lacazette can drop in there. So for me, if you look at the last two starts for Emil Smith Rowe, or the last two games, he's played him left wing. Yeah, he's absolutely ruined Emil Smith Rowe's game because Emil, if you cast your mind back to the West Was it the West Brom game where it was in the snow, and Emil Smith-Rowe was finding those pockets of space centrally, and that's what his game's about. But if you stick him out on the left wing, he's not a winger because he hasn't got the pace of a Nicolas Pepe or a Bukayo Saka or Martinelli. So he was always cutting in. You don't, Arteta's ruined Smith-Rowe now because he's playing him out of position, all for a lone player like a Real Madrid reject who's on loan for a couple of months. You probably need a couple of months to settle in, as you say. So for me, it was ridiculous to get him on loan, this Odegaard. It was the most bizarre signing I can ever think of. Yeah. Go on, Claude.
Sorry. Yeah, I fully agree. I want to bring you to the attention of this story that's just come out, and this thing that's come out now. Just where was it now? Give me a minute. There we go. Right, and it's a thing about Jamie Redknapp claiming that, and actually it's brought up an argument with ex-Arsenal player Kevin Campbell, our friend, of course, Kevin, a lovely guy. Don't get me wrong, a lovely guy, but we don't always agree on what he's got to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's come up. He says he thinks, and Thierry Henry is past his sell-by date. I was listening to a discussion last night, and this Clive Palmer, who's also is quite knowledgeable on Arsenal. He made a point yesterday. He said we should have paid him the money on the basis.
Are you sure you mean Thierry Henry or not Aubameyang, Claude?
Did I say Henry?
Yeah, you said Henry. I was trying to work out. I was like, Henry's retired. Like,
sorry,
never compare Aubameyang to Thierry.
I've gone. Sorry, mate. I meant Aubameyang. Sorry.
I was going to say I was sat here and I was trying to work out Thierry Henry past his sell-by. You got me scratching your head there, Claude.
I meant about Aubameyang. Sorry, about Aubameyang. Sorry.
I'll tell you what, a 40-year-old Thierry Henry will still be better than Willian.
Anyway, I'm talking about Aubameyang. Sorry, I don't know why I mentioned Thierry Henry. I don't know why I've got him. It's probably I'm still thinking about the good old days, and he was going on about Aubameyang. This guy last night, I heard him on the show last night. He said, "Have Arsenal made the mistake of valuing his wages of what he's actually achieved before, rather than what he can achieve after?" Which I thought was a great point. Have we paid him of what he's given in the past, rather than what he can on what he can give us in the future? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what I mean, boys? On that,
do you know what worries me with this whole Aubameyang thing, right? And this is why I'm hesitant in saying, we should sell him, because last year he absolutely saved our season, right? Yeah. If it wasn't for him, we probably would. And actually, the one thing that him being out of form this season has shown us is that actually without his goals, we are absolutely nothing without his goals. But the reason why I'm hesitant in saying sell him is because we could sell him, right? Yeah. And he could go to another club, right? And absolutely tear it up. And there'd be people saying, "Oh, we should have kept hold of him." And that's the thing. This is why I'm being a little bit cautious in saying that we should sell him, or, maybe, we shouldn't have signed him up. Listen, the contract thing is a whole different, like separate issue in terms of like the money we paid him. But I just think with Aubameyang, he's just having a poor season. And and you know, he's not his work rate. He's never ever been good at his work rate. Aubameyang, he has been a goal scorer, and when you've got an inconsistent midfield, in you know, Zach alluded to Granit Xhaka sideways, backwards, sideways, and I know Aubameyang's had chances in games and missed them. I absolutely know that. You know, that there was, you know, last week against Benfica, he probably should have buried at least 2 or 3 of them. He probably should have at least buried 2 or 3 of them. But I just feel with Aubameyang that he will come good again. And it's not you know, because he's our star player or anything like that. I just feel that there's more at the moment going on. And Aubameyang is quite an emotional player. Like, he's quite connected with the fan base. He's quite you know, if the fans are not behind, if the fans are behind him, he's quite emotional in terms of you know, the way he plays. And I just think there's lots of things that maybe we're not privy to that is going on with Aubameyang.
Yeah. Daniel, I hear what you're saying, Daniel, but for me, I'm of a slightly different opinion, right? Because I wouldn't have given him a new contract. I would have cashed in on him when his stock was high. Because look, you look at the age profile, it's not even just about his age, right? Because for me, here's what my thinking on it. Even when Aubameyang scored loads of goals for us before he signed the contract, he never played well. Never contributed in other areas. He never held the ball up or assisted. If he didn't score, he didn't contribute. So I knew at some point, and I said it, at some point the goals will dry up. And they have, right? The problem with the goals drying up for a player like Aubameyang is when the goals dry up, he doesn't contribute anything else. We can't afford to carry passengers. And that's the problem we have with Aubameyang, is if he doesn't score, he's a passenger. Whereas if you look at last season and the season before, like a striker like Firmino for Liverpool, if he doesn't score, he'd still link the play, he'll still assist, he'll still be part of a winning structure. But with Aubameyang, if he doesn't score, he's actually letting the side down a lot. And that's the problem we have, because the older he gets, the less likely he's going to be as prolific as he has been in the past. So for me, everything pointed towards cashing in 40 million, right? Then go and buy another striker, put your faith in Martinelli and Bellerin, and go and buy another striker like an Edouard at Celtic. And that
Who would you replace him with, though? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Who would you replace him with? No, but I get what you're saying about maybe getting Edouard and stuff. But here's the thing. Is Edouard really going to get the number of goals that Aubameyang has got? And I know this season the goals have dried up, and I completely get that. But if you're going to replace someone like Aubameyang, you're going to need to pay upwards of 150 million or 200 million to get a decent player. Let me tell you something right here. I wouldn't cash Aubameyang. I wouldn't cash in or replace Aubameyang. If the only way I would replace Aubameyang, and this is my honest opinion right here, because two things right with what you're saying, Zach, is that if we'd cashed in on him in the summer, right, yeah, and he goes and rips it up.
Yeah, but is he likely?
We would be the first to turn around and say, right, there'll be people out there, Arsenal fans out there, be the first to say, "Oh my God, why are we cashing in our best striker? Come on, I can see I can see Twitter, the tweets right now. Even, do you know what I mean? Because our fan base is so reactionary. Daniel, do you know what I mean? That's what worries me.
I hear what you're saying, but let me tell you this, yeah. Let me tell you this. When Serge Gnabry left, I thought I'm going to regret it. Yeah? But we've lost bigger and better players than Aubameyang in the Emirates era, where I thought, fucking hell, that's a mistake. Van Persie to Man United. Yeah? When we sold Alexis Sanchez. and we let
To be
Nasri.
fair though, Van Persie to Man United was
That was criminal.
At the time, but he had one good season and then flopped. So you could probably look all the players that have left Arsenal. Van Persie's gone and flopped. Who was the other one?
Hang on a second, Daniel. I'm gonna have to call you out here, mate. Van Persie almost single-handedly won United a league title when he went there. He didn't flop. He absolutely battered the league. He won him a league title.
What about the season after that? The season after
irrelevant.
that.
It's irrelevant, Daniel. He won them a league title almost single-handedly. This is what you play football for. When was the last time Arsenal Football Club won a league title?
2004.
Exactly. Van Persie went to United, won them a league title. It doesn't matter if he flopped for the 3 seasons after. He only stayed another season. He was a winner. He changed the history of Man United because he won them a league title. It's all about history, Daniel. He didn't flop at all. He was the top goal scorer. Yeah, he was the top goal scorer in the league for United, and he absolutely took them to the league title. For me, he was a complete success at United. Go and speak to any United fan and say, don't care the season after that he was shit. He won us a league title. That's what you'll look at in the history books. Yeah, Van Persie, top goal scorer, Man United league title winners. All you will remember. Look, it winds me up because that Van Persie one, I'll tell you what, I will never get over.
Oh yeah, I was annoyed at the Van Persie one. But I'm just saying with Aubameyang, if you're going to get rid of him, you need somebody who's as younger and who is as prolific as he is. You need somebody. I said this right, and somebody said, who would you sell? Who would you get in to replace Aubameyang? There's only one player who I would get in and I'll be happy with. And we're never going to get him because he's going to cost too much. And that is Kylian Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is the only player who I would be happy with. Anybody else, it'd just be like a come down. Do you know what I mean? It really would. It's my honest opinion.
I know. Look, I respect your opinion, Daniel. You're very, very knowledgeable Arsenal fan. I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on the Aubameyang because I don't rate him anywhere nearly as highly as you do. And look, do you know what? It's that kind of difference of opinion that I can accept because it's marginal, right? You've got your slightly different perspective on Aubameyang than me. I can accept that kind of debate, where you're like, I really think Aubameyang will come good. I don't think he will. I can have those types of debate. So I've got no issue and I respect your opinion. It's the other types of debate that I can't engage in. It's just a gut feeling that Arteta's going to come good. Like that, I can't debate that. Whereas with your opinion on Aubameyang, I can disagree with it, but I can respect your opinion and I can almost see where you're coming from on it.
I would absolutely get rid of Aubameyang. If Arsenal said, right, we're going to go and pay 200 million for Mbappe, I'd go, yeah, take it all day long. I would absolutely. Because for any striker less than that, right, and I'll be brutally honest, any striker less than that is not... We're not going to get the same level of commitment or anything or even prolific.
I'll be honest
because Aubameyang has been so prolific, right? Yeah, he has been so prolific for us. Take out this season, he has smashed pretty much all the records for goal scoring, and they've been invaluable to us. Especially like last season, they were valuable to us. They were, without his goals, we probably could have got relegated.
Hold on. Yeah. Daniel, sorry to interrupt you, yeah. You say that, right? We have to replace him. How about though if we done this then? We done not like get players that like midfield players that actually can score goals and that contribute to the team and it's shared amongst the team, then you don't really need a real 20, 30 goal man season, do you? If you get even a striker to score like 15, 20, as long as you get another midfield player like, how can you call it, like Fernandez or someone like that and can contribute to about 10 to 15 goals a season, that balances that out, doesn't it? Do you see where I'm coming from, Daniel? You don't necessarily have to be a top of the range striker. If you can get other players, like midfield players or another that can actually score goals as well, and other players like Pepe and all them players contributing with more goals as well, or Saka can contribute with more goals, because you know what it is as well. Maybe we rely too much on Aubameyang, and it's all about getting. Maybe if Aubameyang wasn't there, then Saka might produce more goals. Pepe might start scoring more goals. Do you see what I mean? And then the striker that comes in will score goals as well. So, do you get where I'm coming from here on this one?
I do, and you know, you're absolutely right with our midfield. They should be scoring a lot more goals, but I just can't see it happening. Maybe Saka could do that. Listen, he's going to be a real, and he's already a talent. Don't get me wrong, but the more he improves, and he is improving. I know there's people out there that are saying that he's not improved this season. You know, but he is going to improve. He's going to improve, and he's going to get better with better players around him. He's going to be a better player. But I just don't see, like, Pepe. I've not seen enough consistently from him, and I'm not. Listen, I've said that his best performances have been on the left, but I still have a massive question mark on A, whether he can be consistent enough, and B, whether he is the right man in terms of like being a really top winger. I'm still not fully convinced. There's a part of me with Pepe that thinks that we got a little bit ripped off with A, the price, and B, the kind of player we were kind of promised, or that he was in France. I'm still not fully convinced.
Yeah, but I also believe that, Daniel, that he's not been handled properly by the manager there, because he played.
Oh yeah, I agree, Claude. I agree that he should be played.
One poor game and he's dropped. I don't see other players. I've seen Bellerin playing poorly all season, and he continues to be picked.
That's the thing.
So that's where the problem lies here.
That's the problem.
You know, he must be thinking as well. And I also think this is where I think we've got a problem. And I was listening to this guy last night, and he had a good point. By the way, Clive Palmer is really good. If you ever listen to him, he's really good. And he said the biggest problem with Pepe is playing with Bellerin, because Bellerin completely messes him up.
Absolutely.
Well, this is why I said that his best performances are on the left. Bellerin, anyone who plays in front of Bellerin, and you saw it with Saka as well when Saka played on the right, and you know, Saka. No, when Saka, even Saka, he's decent on the right, but you could even see if he had a better back, a right back behind him, he would do so much better. And that is an issue for the wingers. You know, you see that Tierney, whoever plays in front of Tierney, gets the support, gets the the contribution that is needed, and you know, Pepe's not very good at tracking back. Which is why he needs somebody like a Tierney who can do that for him.
The thing is, Daniel,
and help get forward.
Sorry to interrupt.
Also, yeah, because we're going a bit late here. How can I put it? I think if he played on the left more often on that side with Kieran Tierney, because I think there would be much better understanding. And Tierney knows when to stay back and let him do his thing. I think Bellerin gets in his way a lot. I think on that side, I think he'd be brilliant if he's got to get a run on the left, play Saka on the right.
Yeah.
But then I think hopefully tomorrow night, I hope to see Cedric at right back tomorrow night.
He's not going to do it, mate. You know you're going to see Bellerin in that starting line.
He isn't going to do. He's going to do Bellerin. The only way Bellerin's getting out of this team is if he's sold or he decides to leave. That's the only way Bellerin is getting out of this team. Or if he gets
Daniel, that's my biggest bugbear with Arteta. Yeah, as Claude mentioned, Bellerin can drop 0 out of 10s game after game after game, and he gets the captaincy. Pepe can have one bad game after being really good for 4 or 5 games, and he's completely gone. Same with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He has one bad game and he's sent out on loan. Same with Joe Willock. Same with all of these other players, yeah? So the That's the thing that winds me up the most, because if he treated everyone equally and he looked at Bellerin and he said, you know what, Hector, you're going to start, but if you don't start playing well, you're out the team, I would have no problem. But Bellerin's played shit all season, let's face it, yeah? And he's still playing. He's still getting the captaincy.
Well, but do you know what you'll get, though? What you'll get, though, Zach, is people going, oh, but he obviously does it well in training. He obviously plays well in training.
Yeah, but that's from Arteta. I couldn't give a shit about training, mate. I
had this massive disagreement, and if you all haven't checked it, me and Kevin Campbell had a bit of a disagreement on this. I said it's all well and good playing well in training, but you've got to do it on the game day experience as well. You can't just be based on players playing well in training. Football matches aren't won on the training field. Trophies aren't won on the training field.
Tony Adams and Paul Merson used to turn up to training drunk, yeah? Right? They used to turn up to training drunk. Matt Le Tissier used to stroll about training. It's been well documented. Go and speak to the managers, Southampton managers. Le Tissier was an awful trainer. Come match day, he was the best player on the pitch every game. Yeah, Matt Le Tissier. Yeah, I'm not interested in training. I'm really not interested in training. You could be the worst trainer, but as long as you're performing on a match day, that's all I'm interested in. This is the thing about Arteta. He keeps banging on about training. He came out the other day and said Willian's the best trainer. Do I give a shit whether Willian's the best trainer or not? Of course I don't. Yeah? He's had 2 shots on target all season. That's all I care about. I don't care if he's putting him in the top bins every training session, which I don't believe he is, by the way. But all I care about is match day. Yeah? Fair enough if you're literally not doing anything in training. But other than that, you decide who your best players are, and by and large, those are the players that should be in your starting 11 week in, week out. Not fucking Hector Bellerin every game because he's planted a few trees. You go to the Arsenal training ground, Bellerin's probably planting the trees rather than actually training, and Arteta's probably looking at him saying, oh, well done, Hector. You planted a couple of trees this training session. You're going to start the next game. I'm not about that life, lads, yeah? I'm not interested in training.
Yeah. We'll wrap it up, boys. Predictions for tomorrow night, Daniel?
Do you know what? It's very difficult because if I go with my head, I honestly think we'll probably get knocked out if I'm being brutally honest. No. I'm on it. Listen, Claude, honestly, I know I'm being negative, and there's probably loads of people out there that's going, oh, what's this guy on about? But it's just the way I'm feeling right now. I'm not fully confident. If I go with my heart, I'm going with a 2-1 Arsenal win. But I just don't know. I'm just not fully convinced. And do you know what? Benfica are a well-organised team as well. They might not offer much going forward, but they're a well-organised team in terms of defensive structure and we struggle against teams like that.
Yeah. What about you, Zach?
It's a really tough one to predict, actually. You know that?
It is, isn't it?
It's a really, really difficult one because it could go so either way. Like, I'm struggling to even think of what could happen. It's almost like it's not even about his starting lineup anymore because the mentality is seeped into all the players now. So it's not even about, even if he picks the right players, we're going to guarantee a win. I think it's almost toss a coin. And when kickoff goes, yeah, toss a coin and that's your result. That's your prediction because I can't give you a prediction, I'm afraid, because I don't know. Well, for once, I can't predict it. Could go either way.
I'm being frank with you now. I'm gonna say this now, and I think I'm gonna have the positive line on this one. I can't see us going out tomorrow night. I can't see it. Purely and simple, not because we're great and we're fantastic. No, it's because I've watched this Benfica team. I think they're a very poor team. Yes, they're very, very defensive. Defensively, they're very, very sound. They've only conceded 16 goals, but they need to score. They need to score, and I can't actually see, to be honest with you, them scoring 2 goals tomorrow. They have to get one, even if we. I mean, I think we will score probably 1. They have to get 1 and 2 possibly to make sure. I can't see them scoring 2 goals. From what I've seen.
Be careful what you wish for.
Well, what I saw in the first leg, I thought they hardly caused us any problems at all. I thought if Aubameyang finishes them chances on, I think we would have been well in control of that game. But unfortunately, it was one of them days where he missed 3 golden chances, which is very unlikely.
All I'm going to say,
I've never seen it before. So
all I'm going to say Claude, is Olympiacos.
My hunch is that we're going to win tomorrow, possibly 1 or 2 more.
Daniel, Claude, did you hear what Daniel said?
I will say this. But that's when it starts to become difficult, because
Olympiacos, Claude. Olympiacos.
Well, that's Olympiacos.
Olympiacos
had a little bit going forward. I don't think this team has. In fact,
that was Arteta. That was Arteta, wasn't it?
1-0 down. So, yeah, I do. I think the problem with us is when it's come the next round, because that's when it gets harder, because that's when all the better teams come into it, and
we'll see.
We will have to really up our game then. But tomorrow, especially with Partey coming back as well, I think we're going to win comfortably. There you go.
I'm not convinced.
Bargarver's in the chat. Sorry, mate, I've nearly forgot you there, mate. Big up everybody. We need to win at all costs. Yeah, well, we do need. That's one thing. Yeah. We'll end the show on that. We do need to win, because if we don't win tomorrow, if we're out tomorrow, that's it, mate. It's season over. And
I'll take her out.
Well, we want that. I'm hearing this new thing that's come out, this new phase that's come out now. I heard it last night, and it's called Project 2022.
Jesus.
That's why Arteta will be still managing next summer.
Jesus Christ.
This is what they're saying. That's the new thing now with our fan base. Project 2022.
Project 2030.
Well, as I said, I agree with you. Because 16, 17 years ago, Gazidis said that we're going to move into the Emirates to compete with Real Madrid.
We knocked down my second. Yeah, we knocked down my second.
Hey, listen.
Why should I listen?
Hey, listen. All I'm gonna say this: Project 2022 might happen, but all I can say is Project Bollocks is in full flow right now. Do you know what I mean? Jesus Christ.
Trust the process, Daniel. Trust the process.
Project Bollocks is in full flow. That's all I can say.
This is what I heard last night. Project 20. What happened is, this is why the board gave Arteta 3.5 years and to keep by him, and so in 2022 that we would be ready to challenge. And that's why
Arteta said he'd win the Champions League within 3 years. His words, not mine.
That's what I just said. I mean, they're getting conflicting things. I mean, I saw the other day that people are saying that Arsenal, the thing for this season is top 4 and or winning the Europa League. But now it seems to have changed. It changes all the time, mate. It changes all the time. Anyway, thank you everyone in the chat for joining us. Thank you, Daniel, once again on a Wednesday. Thank you, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on.
Zach came a day early as well. Thank you, Zach, for coming on as well.
Pleasure, guys. Always good chatting to you too.
Yeah, always good to chat.
Check out Zach's Twitter.
Sorry, I really apologise. Yeah, Daniel, give you your channel, mate. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so my channel's the Blind Gooner. I've got some great things in the pipeline as well. So later today, I'll be doing a preview. I've got Cristiano from the Benfica podcast coming on, previewing the game, and got some great other interviews lined up as well. So yeah, do go and check that out. Would really appreciate that. On the road to 2,000, so we're almost there.
Wow! Congratulations,
keep it up, everyone. Keep following Daniel. A great channel as well. You know, says it as it is. There's no nonsense. Says it as it is. This is what we want. This is what we want people to be like.
Yeah, I agree.
Not this crap about jealousy. If you question someone to question someone. Oh,
Daniel, I thought you were going to say you were going to have Cristiano Ronaldo on. But
No, I wish, mate.
I would have tuned in. I would have tuned in for that. But
mate, I wish.
No, but having said that, I think he was on I think is it the same guy that was on aftv the other day?
Yes, yeah, the one. He's based over there in the States.
Who's that? Who's that?
He does the Benfica podcast. He's a Benfica supporter.
Oh right, okay.
I'll be tuning in. I'd love to hear what he's got to say actually, because I'll definitely be tuning into that, because I don't think they've got a prayer. Honestly don't think they've got a prayer.
Yeah. And then I've got coming up in the pipeline, which is next month. I've got Andrew from the Arse blog as well coming on. So that's coming up in the
good
next
luck with
month.
that, mate, because you're going to have a lot of arguments with him, mate. Good luck with that.
And in terms of my Twitter, please don't follow me, because I don't want any Arsenal fans following me. I'm trying to get rid of all the Arsenal fans now. I've decided. Present company excluded, of course, but yeah, that's that's what I'd say.
Always a laugh. Yeah. Listen, thank you boys for coming on. Thank you everyone in the chat as well. Take care, everyone. Have a lovely day, and always Arsenal.
Arteta